Hello everyone, my name is Greg Jones from the Rotary Club of Salem, and I'm the District Rotary Foundation Chair for District 6510. In this video, I'd like to explain the steps to apply for a district grant for Rotary District 6510. To do that, you'll need to start in DACDB. So I have the DACDB login screen here. So we'll click on the login. This is the home page for our district. We will be looking for the tiles at the top left. Here we see one that says My District. We want to click on that one. Then we want to look for the tile that's entitled District Grants. It has a little blue globe there that says Grants. If this tile does not show on your screen, you can go over here to this little cog and click on it. The tiles here in yellow are the ones that I have loaded. The ones down here in blue are the ones I don't have loaded. So I can drag up the one that says Grants to the yellow section and set my configuration, and I'll have that tile available in the future. So let's click on that right now. So it will bring us to the screen that shows all of the district grants that were applied for in the 25-26 year. So you can look at these if you want. While you're here, if you want to go back and look at prior ones, we do get those requests. You see there's a button up here called Change Org Year that's in the top right corner of the screen. If you want to look at district grants that were done a couple years ago, you can change the org year. You can see all the grants that were done in that year. So if you wanted to track to see what grants you've done in the past so you don't repeat a grant, you're welcome to do that. So let's go back to the current year here. So to make the application, what we want to do is we want to go to your club grants view. You see over here on the left hand side, there's this grant navigation screen. We click on Club Grants View. Again, it's going to show the current year, 25-26. It's very important. We need to change the org year here. So click on that button. Now we want to change to 26-27 because we're doing a grant for the next Rotary year. So here's the screen. There's no grants that have been applied for by my club. So I want to click on New Club Grant Request. Now it's possible when you do that, you may get an error message and it may say that you don't have contacts set up for your club. So over here where it says Admin, you can do the email notifications or the club signatures. One of those two will get the contacts you need in. But I already have that set because our club has applied for grants in the past. So here's the first screen that comes up. So you want to come up with a nice name for your project. This is how it's going to be shown on that screen we just looked at. We are going to, let's say we're going to provide for needy students in Salem schools. And so there's where my plug is. The target date, I'm going to set December 31. It'd be really great if none of the clubs had target dates after December 31st, because we'd really like to see all the projects done in the first 6 months of the year. That gives you plenty of time to get them done. Our deadline for finishing a project and getting the final report filed is March 1st. And so we have a lot of clubs that want to do projects in the spring, and it's much better to do it in the fall. So since I am doing a project for students, I'm going to say that is supporting education. Then I come up with a description, and it can be we will purchase school supplies and clothing students in local schools that qualify as low income or homeless. You can have a longer description. This is an important thing to fill in to make sure that the committee that reviews your grant understands what you're trying to accomplish. So make sure you put enough information there so that we understand what you're trying to accomplish. You don't need to put in paragraphs and paragraphs, just something so that we can understand completely what it is you're doing. Clubs involved. Now we're going to do this by ourselves, but let's say that I wanted to work with the Centralia Club. Because Centralia is close to us, maybe we're doing something to benefit Marion County here, and so I could move them over. If you have another club involved, they also can have a maximum of $2,000. If you want to do a big project, you could work on a project with another club and really increase your budget. Then I need to fill out my contacts. I'll automatically show up in there. Brenda Jones is our club secretary, so I'll put her in. I know she's reliable. So now we have our club contacts. These people will be notified whenever the application needs to be signed. And so it's important you're going to have somebody that will read their emails and follow them when those come in. Application. So I will have my start date, July 1. I will have my completion date, December. So my project will be done in those 6 months. It's important to have who you want a check mailed to. If we're not able to deliver your check in person, you want to have this all filled out with an address. So that's important to do. Project objectives, pretty much the same thing that we had on that other screen, provide here again, it's good to have this be as complete as possible. How it will benefit the community, 60% are low income. I'm not going to type a whole paragraph and make you watch here, but that's where you would, talk about what the benefit is. Especially if it's not obvious what you're trying to accomplish, it's important to have this in here so we can understand. Active Rotarian involvement. We do want active Rotarian involvement. Meet with school to determine needs, shop for items, clean up storage area. So deliver items. So, let us know what you're going to be doing. It's also good to let us know how many people will be participating. It's nice to see that. Publicity plan, Facebook, local newspaper and radio. Here, if you have a coordinating organization, you need to put that in. So here I'm going to say administrators at each school. So let's say I'm going to go to 4 schools and do this project. We have, I think, 6 schools that feed into our local high school here. So if I were going to go to all 6 of those schools, I would need a letter of cooperation from each school to tell us that they are aware of this project and they approve of it. The letter of cooperation doesn't need to be super wordy. It just needs to describe the project and say that we approve this, and then have it be signed by a representative of that organization. It's very important to do that. We will not approve your final report without that, or I guess not even approve your application without that being added. And yes, I understand. Yes, I understand. So then, once you get all those things done, these 4 tabs done, When you save it, click on this orange button over here at the top right. Then magically, a couple more tabs will show up. So these are all the ones we've already filled out, these first 4, but now a budget will show up. And so in my budget, I will need to show all the income that's coming. So I have the district grant. I'll apply for the full $2,000. And we have a policy that it's a 2/3, 1/3, at least 2/3, 1/3 funding. So if I do $2,000, that means 1/3 would be, so the club funding would have to be 1,000 club funding. So our total project budget's now $3,000. I'll need to add expenses. I'm just going to put one number here because you don't want to watch me type a bunch of things here. But your expenses have to equal your income. The expenses, it's okay if you estimate what they are now and the final number is different in the end. We don't expect you'll know exactly what everything will cost. So like here I would say, clothing $1,000, school supplies $1,000, hygiene supplies $1,000, and maybe I end up spending $1,500 on clothing and $500 on hygiene items. And so maybe that's the way the final thing ends up being. And that's quite all right. As long as you're staying within the spirit of the application, it's okay if the actual expenses do change a little bit. So now that those meet, my budget works out perfectly. The next tab is Documents. So here, where it says Upload File, with your application, you will need to upload 2 things. You'll need to upload the signature page from the MOU, and we'll show you where that is in just a minute. And you will need to upload the letters of cooperation that you get from the people you're working with on your project. So those 2 things have to be uploaded with your application. When you file your final report, one more thing you will be uploading will be the electronic copies of your receipts and your checks. Here there's a place for images. This is where you'll store your pictures. So you can upload any JPEG files to show pictures. We would love to have action photos. Those are all best. So we save this when we get everything done, and then we hit this button to collect club signatures, and everybody that's on the contact list will get an email that they need to go in and approve the application. And that's all there is to it. We will have a committee review all the applications that come in. You will get a notification when your application has been approved. That'll be coming directly from DACDB. If there are issues with your application and we need more information, then we'll be contacting you to get that. The most common things that we need are that we need to have the MOU uploaded and the letter of cooperation noted. So let's go back. I did mention you will need to have the MOU. So if you go to the District Files tile here, click on District Files, go to the Public tab, go to District Grant Materials, District Grant Certification 2627. Here you'll see the full Memorandum of Understanding. So here it is. You should read this because this is a legal document that you're signing. Your club president-elect, and any other member who is certified from your club will need to sign here. A couple things you can see, some things you need to be aware of. You're not required to have a bank account for your district grant, but everything else pretty much does apply. So do look at that. Then here's the signature page just by itself. So you can just print out that one page. This will need to be uploaded to your application. So that'll take care of it. If you have any questions, you can email me. My email is gregjones5300@gmail.com. I'd be happy to come to your club and talk to you about the district grant process or district grant ideas. Be happy to speak at a meeting if you'd like to have a talk about the district foundation. So thank you very much for your attention.